Well, let's go into game 2. I've picked some bans already. Is it going to be the Habwa jungle yet again, or will CLG mix it up? I think a lot of this depends on Homiefe.
So, yes, Homiefe definitely, I think that CLG ride and dies off of him, but I don't think the Habwa jungle led them to lose that game.
No, I don't agree with that.
It's not the most conventional pick for that role, but it definitely shows its burst potential. He got 4 kills very early on for his team.
He did. CLG got off to a tear. The casters themselves were saying, no, they kind of let off the pressure for a while and allowed eUnited back into it. eUnited with first pick, first ban, Sol off the table.
This could be the opportunity now for eUnited to potentially give CLG their first set loss.
It's true. Didn't think about that one, totally, honestly, because coming into this, I was like, all right, CLG's going to win this because eUnited are looking good.
Yeah.
But the eUnited game we saw earlier on today, they showed up. They showed up in that game. They were down a big deficit. Kamazot, Darji, so it's a first pick, Janus on Nemesis for eUnited.
It's looking like a pretty standard picks and bans thus far. eUnited probably going to go for the Nemesis yet again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now the question is, how does CLG approach this? Do they allow Venenu to go for the Janus yet again? Because he still prefers Nuwa.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, Hurriwind though could look for maybe the Discordia, which we've seen out of him before if he didn't want to go the Janus, but we're going to see the Athena locked in again. Athena's, like I said, been rising and rising in terms of pick potential. Like, people are really investing a lot into it.
Athena is just a great pick all across the board between initiating and peeling, between the ultimate damage mitigation, initiating with a dash taunt, or even if you want to be really frisky and go for the blink taunt.
The frisky blink taunts. New War will get locked in then for Venenu in the mid lane to answer back the Janus and the Athena combination that we're going to be seeing for CLG. United also need to select one other character here, and it will be the Hachiman for PandaCat once more.
It's a safe pick. You can't really go wrong with Hachiman. Extending your basic attack range from 55 to 85 could allow you to clear the wave or to be aggressive the way PandaCat really likes to do. Knowing that he likes to go blink Artemis every now and then just goes to show how important it is when you have that advantage to not be hesitant to pull the trigger.
I mean, we saw that with the Hachiman too, because in that 1v1 against him, he just mounted his horse out of nowhere and went, and now we're fighting.
Well, the thing is, against a ROM, like, you don't have time to go up into the ultimate to negate the damage from the mounted archery.
All locked in for CLG, more than likely the answer for Snoopy here in the duo lane. Janus almost certainly mid. Have seen it in the jungle though, so I don't want to say it too much, too quickly. Fafnir Terror off the table from CLG over to United, who've already taken away Mercury. Will they take away Vamana?
Oof, that's going to be the question. They're definitely focusing on Homiefe. They do not believe that Ullr or Janus or even Athena is going to go jungle. Thor is going to be the secondary global assassin jungle ban.
I like the Thor ban. Like you said, the global is the key. They've already got Athena and Janus. Please, for the love of God, no more. We can't deal with more than
Thanatos and Ratatosker are available for CLG if they so choose to do so. Cerberus will be the selection. A lot of magical damage across the board. I think they need like that real laking physical damage dealer because Ullr has great mid-game damage, but not the same as like such as the ROM, for example.
Is this maybe a Vamana game totally? They need I feel like they do need physical for sure, right? They've got Ullr, but they need something else CLG here. The Vamana could potentially help them with that, but then again, what other like hyper carries is there for the jungle that you could look for?
Kali. Kali's an option potentially that you
Kali's
can go
always
for.
risky now.
Bastet is also not a bad idea if you really want to go for it. A lot of mobility. You can get in and out of action, which is great against Nuwa.
It's going to be the Serqet. Obviously, I forgot about the Serqet, the poisons. Pretty good in the late game. She can get an all-in on a single target, but again, in the early game, she gets off to a tear, and it causes a lot of problems.
The late game, the last pick, Cerqet. Not very often we're calling that one out, but Season 5 teams are just still figuring it out.
And not often we see a Ganesha either, but we will see for this one. Here's your money on Tolly for game 2. We go into best of 3.
I really like CLG's composition, but I think that they got to execute it. I think eUnited is much safer, so I think if it gets to the late game, eUnited win here.
Well, let's see if it goes to the late game. After aggro, bring us game 2.
Hercules is the pick that I want to talk about here. Divios brought it out earlier, and he looked fantastic on it, but Hercules is the first character that I saw Benji play and went, damn, that guy is scary as hell. And here, a couple years later, he's going to play it again.
And I like it. Now, it does have a pretty rough counter matchup, I'd say, in lane up against the Cerberus, because Cerberus is innately anti-healing the Hercules. Not only that, but he's stealing some of that healing as well. So that sustain that Benji's going to be grabbing for himself, is going to end up going to the Cerberus, but I still have complete faith that Benji's going to be look like the dominant solo laner that he really did in Game 1. He did such a good job of separating those team fights, such chaos for CLG that they had a lot of trouble trying to track where everybody was on the map in the middle of those team fights. A lot of that was caused by Benji, and he's going to be able to do the same thing on the Herc.
Yeah, I mean, watching the way he works is really just what it's about eUnited. I mean, he's been doing this since Pain to Beyond days, right?
Yeah,
just
seriously.
Working on the front and the back line is really what Benji's about. So we'll see what happens, but you guys, put your money where your mouth is. Let us know who's going to win this one.
Now, I loved eUnited's ban, though, of the Mercury, where they picked the Nemesis. It's kind of why we saw the Hobla in Game 1 was the slow immunity against that Nemesis. They kind of call the bluff, say you can go for it again if you want to, but you're not getting the Mercury. And Mercury with that slow immunity on the 2. We saw how well Homie played it earlier on today. He looked amazing on it. I really loved that thought process of the ban. But at the end of the day, CLG comes out with an insane composition.
Yeah.
I mean, Janus, Athena, Ullr, Cerberus, Serqet. Those are 5 of the best gods in their individual roles, undoubtedly in Season 5.
And there are 5 of the gods for these players.
Yep.
Give me Hurriwind, Janus every time. There are a lot of characters that I don't want to see Hurriwind play, and we see it anyway.
Like what?
Janus isn't one of them.
I thought I might be. You were on a roll, you know. You should you will the other person into saying something when they're on a roll like that. I thought I was gonna be able to get you.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll say it. I don't want to see him on the ROM. Remember the Hurriwind ROM days?
God,
the Janus is a better look. We can say that much.
A much better one. I really, really like him on this.
I agree with you.
Well timed, Venenu. Well timed. Game number 2 here for
Nice
eUnited.
to see someone's following their script for once. Jeez.
Yeah, thanks, man. Come on now. Venenu waving to nobody whatsoever. Oh, no, he's waving to the players that are... Nope, no vision. I thought maybe he had the wards there. Nope, just waving.
No, just waving. Just got to do something to pass the time in these early stages. And this is kind of what we've seen more and more of from mid laners is starting in the mid lane. And I like this idea, though, of just staying here and just making sure that you have the information, knowing where everybody is, and then you can show up wherever you need to go. It lets him start the speed buff if he needs to.
This is the closest poll that we've had outside of the one that said that aggro is more wrong than I am. This is the closest poll that we've had. 51-49 CLG.
Wasn't that also 51-49?
That's what I'm saying, outside of that poll.
So it is also the closest that we've had.
Yes, that is
Outside of what outside
exactly.
of that poll sounds like it doesn't count that poll as the same. It sounds like that poll was closer.
No, I'm not counting that poll whatsoever because it wasn't about the games.
Oh, okay.
Nah, I mean,
Yeah.
is Hurriwind gonna get this red buff?
He better hope so, because he's in trouble. No, yes, okay, he got it. That'll give him the
the
portal
PBM's gonna
to make sure he got away. If Hurriwind loses that red, he's dead, but Ven might be the dead one now. PBM, only level 1, no peel on the abilities, just trying to body block Homiefe, and will do so successfully. But both mid laners losing out on a lot of farm for their escapades.
The solo invade.
It's risky, but it can work. But that's what you won't see in your ranked games. Is your support saying, "Yeah, I'm cool with being level 1 forever. I'll just make sure that he doesn't get that red buff for free." Like I said, man, if Hurry doesn't secure that red, then he's dead.
So one of the positives about this matchup for Hercules, one of the few positives about this match for Hercules, is he is going to be able to interrupt that breath coming from fineokay, who gets flipped. No kick available for a couple of seconds. There it is. Scream's going to follow up with some damage. fineokay heals, but there it is. Benji in the bad matchup gets first blood with the help from the jungler.
And that's all about that level, just little bit of leveling information. fineokay didn't have the jump, and Benji calls that out. Scream makes the rotation in and makes him pay.
Homiefe waiting here. Not gonna wait that long. Walks right on in the lane. Thought he was thinking for the jump, but Venenu not walking up far enough. Wouldn't go for it. Jigz finds the double taunt. Snoopy, however, controlled by PolarBearMike, takes a second to get his damage out there. Axe gonna mix, so not gonna find the follow-up damage. PandaCat, however, hits pretty hard.
I really feel like this eUnited duo lane is still one of the strongest in the league. They're just able to play with such confidence at all times. They always feel like they're ready and willing to take those 2v2s. And PBM and PandaCat don't seem like they need to have a lot of conversation about what's going to happen in those 2v2s.
Yeah.
You know, it's not quite Bear and Jeff level, but it's still that you can see the synergy working together.
Exactly, and that was what I was kind of waiting for, because Benji, Screammmmm, PandaCat are this core of this old enemy roster, right? And then you introduce Venenu and PolarBearMike here, which are a little bit newer, but Ven also kind of PolarBearMike waiting for him to sort of reach that synergy level was kind of what I was looking for, but he's got that coach approach as well, and I think that sped things up.
Got to be careful on the left side now because Homie is over here. Don't think that eUnited know about it. No wards for them.
Oh, they've got no clue.
Homie has the blink ready.
Oh, well, here's the jump in. The double taunt's good. Beads for the Hunter. Can't say the same about the support. PolarBearMike, one shot left. Can they get it? Snoopy says, yes, we can. CLGaming gets themselves on the board with the kill on PolarBearMike.
Venenu couldn't help that fight at all. He's just level 4, didn't have the fire shards, and honestly wouldn't have mattered anyways. Just that perfect timing on the initiation. Jigz finds 2 with the taunt in. PBM has to use the sprint, but it's still not enough. PandaCat lost his beads there as well.
Yeah, uses them. Does get him out of jail. Would you rather die there or use the beads is the question.
Oh, use the beads 100%, because getting to level 5 and just staying on the map a little bit longer means that you're able to get some more safety after that. Plus, when you're going for the Devourer's Gauntlets this early on, you really don't want to back with, 1,000 gold, 1,100 gold. Then you're just in an awkward spot for, all right, do I just start building my boots and really set myself far behind? Do I get, Cursed Gauntlet and then sit on a really weak spot for a while? It's one of those awkward situations. And PandaCat was still kind of forced into that awkward situation where you can't quite finish the Devo gloves quite yet, but is still able to pick up something and stay on the map a little bit longer.
Benji's beating up fineokay here. About a level and a half separating these two guys. And he looks good.
Agreed.
Right now.
I wasn't sure if that was the F-dot pause. and whenever I start questioning if it's an F-dot pause or if that's my turn to talk, then I'm just like, well, if I start talking now, he's about to talk. And back in the day, before we had cast together a lot, Homiefe, hold that thought. Blinks forward, forces Venenu up on the turnaround. Scream, trying to turn it around. That Jigz ultimate, though, gives Homie enough damage reduction to make sure that last breath doesn't do too much damage and secures.
He's going to get the jump. Ooh. The jump over the boulder was so important. And in fact, it'll earn fineokay the turnaround kill. That's nice. Benji's 6 ways to Sunday. If fineokay doesn't jump at that exact moment, literally over the boulder.
Really, really beautiful there from fineokay. And there's where that little bit of sustain being stolen away from Benji ends up mattering. If Fine doesn't receive any of the healing for mitigate wounds, he ends up just being too low to really contest. In that situation, he's able to stick around long enough and keep himself healthy.
Six minutes in here in the early game, kind of getting underway here. Left side, PolarBearMike gets surrounded. Oh my goodness. You want to talk about body block? That's a 3-player body block, just completely surrounded, acting like Bastet cats.
I was just about to say that, like the largest Bastet deploys 3 gods to do her body blocking for her.
Just like, oh man, wonderful. That's the type of stuff.
What if we made a new Bastet that deployed gods instead of cats? But it was 3 random gods every time. Be like, damn, dude, I got Loki, Opwash, and Athena as my 3 cats. They didn't do anything. But the enemy Bastet, when she drops hers, she gets Hobloss, Cerqet, and Nemesis. That's OP.
How are you still talking?
Think about it. That'd be insane.
Yeah,
also, I kind of talk for a job, so I can kind of just do that.
If the caster cam was on, my eye roll might have turned the camera sideways. I don't know if you realize that, aggro. But solo lane's been kind of fun here. Benji fighting uphill, still with the level lead here, despite the loss there earlier on, half level. And watching them go back and forth has been fun, but this is a 4-on-4 on the left-hand side. Jigz caught up in the laser.
Homie get a blink forward, though, trying to finish off PBM, but can't quite find it. Snoopy looking for the hail of arrows, but PBM's created enough distance, and Venenu forces him back with the fire shards. Beautiful play there from PBM. He drops the ultimate. Jigz only has one way to go to escape, and that's through the bug zapper wall. And then PBM locks him down on it immediately upon crossing
Oh,
it.
look at that. Scream wanted to get aggressive, and as soon as that circle comes down, showing that Jigz is ready to fight, everybody turns tail and walks away. Athena in tow, not something you want to mess with.
Did force out the sprint, though, because of the turnaround slice and dice from Scream. Snoopy was still low enough, but that's the team play that I want to see more of from CLG. These dudes are so talented individually, and we see a lot of flashes of that team play, but I think that they still do default towards that individualistic mindset when things are going poorly. Those sorts of high communication plays are always exciting for me to watch.
I agree. It's really about the team synergy and the teamwork. We were highlighting that the other day on the European broadcast, where teams like Rival have been so successful because the game has really turned around from a I'm better than you into a we're better than them. And that's so, so, so important.
And it really does make a world of difference to just make sure that you're in the right mindset when things are going well or going poorly. It's a team game at the end of the day, and you can have as many star players as you want, but it's just been impressive stuff from CLG.
3-2 so far, and Snoopy trying to fight back into PandaCat here. Did get the 1v1. PandaCat did, that is. Last game, really hoping to see another one of those. One taunt, another silenced. Dashing forward is eUnited. Ultimate out of Hurriwind's going to whiff. Here comes Homiefe. Not going to find anybody with the taunt either. CLGaming have a lot of stuff on cooldown right now, but eUnited just are willing to take the walk away. Snoopy didn't get the message. Goes real deep for PandaCat, but not punished.
I would have really liked to see Hurriwind aim that ultimate through the pillars there. Not trying to hit anybody, but trying to give your team an escape or initiation in. So PandaCat has to use the ultimate just in case. Didn't have the beads in that situation. And I like the idea from Scream to just beads the Athena taunt and Nem Alter as Homie tries to get aggressive here on a Scream. Last press on him, and that hail of arrows still won't be enough to bring him down. That's the right idea, but Scream's got to communicate that, hey, if I get Athena taunted here, just go in, because I'm going to beads and we're going to try and kill her. It looked like he said, I'm, go, go, go. But after he had gotten taunted, PBM was a little bit late on the dash in, and then Jigz was able to escape because of it.
Nice stuff. Nice reaction here. Talking about reactionary play, if that's your entire approach to the game, I think that's just poor choice most of the time, depending on composition and scenario, etc. But most of the time, that's wrong. When you're going to play reactive in certain points, and that's all well and good. And watching what CLG did there, that's kind of exactly what you wanted. Sort of, we're biding our time here on the right side of the map, and we'll just wait for eUnited to kind of push up into us, and then CLG just launches everything and goes for it. I don't mind that reactive play when it's a part of your overall strategy, but when that's your entire world, that's when it becomes a little simplistic.
Exactly. You need to have a healthy balance. You need to be able to counterpunch and be the initiator and be the aggressor, and CLG is proving that they can do that so far in this game. I mean, Jigz has done so well here for CLG. Take a look at the purification beads right now. Scream and Venenu both down. PandaCat just had to use his ultimate because his beads were down off the last taunt and needed to get away. So you can tell that Jigz has been all over the map and been a really important factor.
Portal's going to tag PolarBearMike, but that's about it. And yeah, a stat we don't have is how many successful crowd control abilities landed. I think Jigz would be up at the top of the league in that world. Always looking for crowd control, whether it's for the team fight or not. CLGaming going to start this fight this time around as they invade eUnited's jungle. Venenu goes right to the sky, and PBM misses the dash. Now on the chase, there's Homiefe. That guy's gone. Hurriwind hits him with the unstable vortex. Snoopy's low. Jigz is low. Homiefe's low. Can eUnited check and cash up? No.
Scream just walked into a ton of damage there and just kind of accepted his fate. Ends up falling. Snoopy able to escape by the skin of his teeth in a double kill for Hurriwind, and he was already really far ahead of Venenu, sitting 3 levels down now on this new wall. The typical Warlock staff build, I get it. It's what you usually go for. But look at the difference in net worth right now. I mean, 1,500 gold more in the lead for Hurriwind. He's got his Chronos Pendant done, is already working towards what's probably going to be a Soul Gem, whereas Ven just finished off that Warlock staff. It's going to take him a long time for that to be really valuable.
Yeah, That's as far as timing is concerned, that's something to think about. Look at this Nemesis build. Very different from what we saw last game. Scream last game played the ability-based Nemesis and built a tank later on. He was all about the ultimate. Make sure he gets the ultimate off, and then the rest of the team kind of brings the burst damage. This time around, he's looking to be consistent damage. Building into the katana, he's looking to stick to targets and continuously deal damage instead of just popping an ult and running away.
Yeah, it's surprising that he's willing to change up his play style that much because of the picks on the other side. I don't think he's going to have an easy time sticking to Hurriwind on the Janus, but maybe trying to keep up with that mobility, though threshold at the feet should be enough to really separate the two unless Scream picks up a winged blade.
Yeah.
Maybe Ullr you can catch up with and keep on top of, but overall, I really feel like the ability build would have been a little bit better here, but Scream, obviously, something is tipping him off that this is the type of style that he wants to go this time around.
I like this choice against the Serqet. Serqet can get away from everybody except for Nemesis sometimes, it feels like. CLGaming again invading into eUnited's jungle. Keep in mind the tier 1 tower in the mid lane also getting attacked by minions. So CLGaming getting sort of both whatever they're looking for. PandaCat does take care of Snoopy, and those minions will be answered. That's why CLGaming went for this team fight. They wanted to win it and then transition into the easy tower, but instead they lose it, and eUnited are transitioning into the easy objective. Jigz is walking away. Hurriwind is here, but he's here too late. Gold Fury goes to eUnited. Nice thought process from CLGaming, but they drop it in the execution department.
And that wasn't one of those situations where CLG says, oh, we lost our hunter. I don't think we can really contest this. You could tell because Hurriwind walks in at the end and goes, oh crap, they might be on Gold Fury, realizes it too late and can't show up to the party in time. And that's just Benji being Benji, just commanding so much attention in the mid lane. How many people showed up to make sure that Hurriwind was okay from that Hercules while everyone else was missing on the left side of the map, and eUnited's the one with Oracle control on that Gold Fury? 3 people? 4 people? Everyone looking at Benji in the mid lane only 14 minutes in.
People like to give Benji a lot of credit for 1v4ing on the Concurrent World and stuff, and I don't take credit away from him, but there's a lot of MOBA numbers involved there. The game does that, right? What Benji does is he demands those 4 players to take him on. That's the player side of it. The tankiness, that's the items and the gold lead and everything. But the attention demanded from this player is player specific, and that's what you were getting at. Is just Benji walks in lane and everybody got a look, and the rest of the team's just taking care of stuff.
And that's critical, specifically for Venenu in the mid lane to get that Gold Fury, because as we mentioned, he was really far behind, and it's not really getting any better for him now. 1,800 gold.
Oh my goodness, he's
behind.
4 levels down.
And look, Janus does that to you. When Janus gets a lead, he gets to zoom around the map and just clear that, clear this, clear that, and it's just bang, 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 and he's right back to the wave after clearing 3 camps, and it feels impossible to keep up with him. But man, Ven's got to find some farm somewhere. But the problem is now, he can't do it alone. Something like this will happen.
CLGaming has been here for every single spawn of the red buff. eUnited looking to fight into this one, as they did last time, and kind of won. I like that CLGaming isn't deterred from that red buff invade after losing it. Here, eUnited pushed back, and CLG learned from last time. They didn't stay as long.
Uh-oh, Snoopy in trouble on the left, but Jigz is coming, and so is Homie. The damage is there, but it's on to Homiefe. He stood on the bug zapper for too long, and the Cerqet is close enough to a bug that it zapped her.
Well, Snoopy's feeling himself. You cannot outrun my bow. fineokay, the good boy. And Snoopy turns around. Now I'll say it. Talk poop, get snooped.
1 for 1. It's jungler for support, though, and that favors eUnited as long as they don't lose too much. But that tier 1 tower going down on the left-hand side because of fineokay's rotation will push that into CLG territory as far as a victory is concerned. 30, almost 4K gold in the lead now in experience. And I'll bet you over half of that is on to Hurriwind over Venenu, because you look elsewhere on the map, PandaCat's got a lead over Snoopy, Scream's got a lead over Homie, Benji's got a lead over fineokay, and yet it's CLG with the experience lead because it's all Hurriwind.
10,000 gold on the Janus, 7,600 on the Nuwa. Literally top and bottom. Literally top and bottom. That is stark. Nuwa is beneath the supports.
And that's not the usual thing we're used to seeing in Season 5. Now, Seasons 2, 3, and 4, the normal to see the mid lanes behind supports at times in the net worth charts, but not anymore, man. And it's been a rough game so far for Venenu, and that's the risk with Nuwa. You know, she's all the craze right now, top pick, top ban, all the stuff she does in the late game. You got to get there first. And I think CLG's done a really good job of consistently being on the enemy red. That's why we see them consistently on the enemy red, is to keep Venenu behind in farm.
Because they know that Venenu can't really help out with the contest. I mean, Ryan, is Nuwa the worst early game? Or is that Agni?
Among mages?
Yeah,
definitely not
mid-lane
Agni anymore. Agni's early game is actually very good because of the way that his passive interacts with Mage's Blessing. It will proc Mage's Blessing on both the Flame Wave and the Combustion passive. So his early game got way, 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 way better. That's why he's so popular these days. I'd probably say, Nuwa, for my money, probably has the worst early lane clear, just based on memory. Now, numbers-wise, is there someone worse? Potentially. Opwash is atrocious at level 1.
Not even just wave clear, just the impact she could make. Fire Shards hits like nothing. Scream gets the beads chased out. Fire Shards is irrelevant till 3 points in it, in my opinion. Outside of information.
Outside of information, yeah. I mean, you're sitting at 100 damage at rank 1. Not a whole lot more.
Yeah.
At rank 2, don't know the exact number, but it's not very big, I can tell you that much.
Well, eUnited are suffering the consequences of picking up the new out. Something that we haven't seen punished enough. Counterlogic Gaming trying to make that move. There's the ultimate from Venenu. That one looks like an information. Want to make sure that eUnited aren't on the objective.
But again, that's information for CLG at the same time. That now Venenu is that much more vulnerable, as if he wasn't enough before, sitting at only level 14.
Well, now, I mean, sure, in juxtaposition to the other mid laner, things certainly don't look hunky-dory. But now is the point in time where you can expect that out of Venenu. He's owing to Chunk with the combo. Thought he was going to get hit by the long-range Janus stuff. Not going to happen. Janus still in the picture on the right side. On the left side is going to be fineokay, but he's got to walk out of there.
Just a rotating door of CLG players in and out through that portal, fired off by Hurriwind. And there's the power of the Janus. It just brings so much utility to your team, as well as that damage that you expect out of your mid lane mage. For almost any other mid laner, fineokay is in a ton of trouble. Not when you got a Janus on your side.
Easy out, right? Just sort of the parachute for the team here is Hurriwind. And this is where I really like Hurriwind. We were talking about characters that we enjoy Hurriwind on. Hurriwind, for my money, this is a guy that plays utility mages. Let him help the team doing more than just damage. eUnited doing damage to the Gold Fury, wanting to change it to CLG as they show up, but it's an all-out retreat.
I guess that was just eUnited guessing that all of CLG had backed in mass. PandaCat gets his dash caught. No beads for him, but no follow-up.
The backhand.
Because of the silence from PBM, but PandaCat still in tons of trouble, trying to trade himself out, but can't do so. Snoopy notches his third kill, but Homie was left alone in the jungle here, Tom.
There's just tons of people, and that's what I was talking about. Venenu's starting to hurt. Venenu didn't hurt before. Now he does.
Got the Chronos Pendant finished off. That's a big boost in his power. Pretty much immediately. fineokay trying to get here to stop Scream and maybe catch him off guard. No ultimate available for fineokay, but one available for Scream. He's going to throw it onto the Cerberus, but not a lot of damage onto fineokay. Plenty onto Scream. Jigz gets credit, but that was a team effort there from CLG.
Benji's kick is going to be immuned out thanks to the ultimate from Fine. Here he is looking for the flip, won't find it. Minions destroyed. So no stun there for Venenu. fineokay still jumping forward, but at 21.5, CLG looking like they're done with this fight here in the middle lane. 51-50, very close game here. In our second game, eUnited took game 1.
Wonder who made the call to engage there in the mid lane. It seemed unwise to do so, just not understanding exactly how much damage everyone on eUnited had there, because fineokay was still half HP at worst. Whenever he got Nemesis, after he got Nemesis ulted, and he's got that Jade Emperor's crown to reduce the physical power of both Scream and Benji. And Scream's build has plenty of movement speed and plenty of utility with both of those katanas, but not a lot of power by going the Talaria boots into hastened katana. You're sacrificing a lot, so that Jade Emperor's crown reduction ends up being that much more impactful.
Yeah, he's just got, the 50 from the green sword and a little bit from Mace 2 there, so certainly not Certainly not what he brought in game number 1. And like I said, I mean, ooh. I don't care what I said. fineokay wants to make a move here. It's just Benji, though. I thought it was Venenu going to be pushed up there, so fineokay will come up empty-handed. But so I nodded to this sort of difference in play style. I thought because he wanted to keep up with players, but I'm not really seeing it, Aggro.
No, I'm not seeing it either quite yet, but they're playing for the late game, and CLG trying to not let it get there. Gold Fury down very, very low, but now reset. Through space and time was trying to catch off Venenu, but didn't quite find a home. And CLG end up resetting the Gold Fury from just that Ganesha ult from PBM. Now they're going to head back to it, and Benji uses the boulder elsewhere instead of trying to go for the gold. CLG get the Gold Fury.
Easy peasy. CLG with the kind of steal, more like the yoink. They took it away and finished it off.
Yeah, they said, we almost got it, but didn't, but just kidding, we did get it. So eUnited, just like CLG did to them in game number 1 when the enemy gets the Gold Fury, head towards the Pyromancer, but they got to be careful here because Hurriwind's lurking.
He's going to look around the back end. fineokay shows his face first and gets the stun on a Scream. Hurriwind's going to get kicked up by Benji, pushing him towards the eRest of the squad. But the United don't want this fight, it looks like. PolarBearMike trying to decide. Just here to protect Benji. That goes in and out. And CLGaming, yep. They wind up with the Gold Fury, which is the more important objective here. Absolutely.
Hurriwind didn't have the ult available. If he does, that's a potential wipe onto eUnited to try and chase him down as they potentially retreat, but not having it available even with the full 40% CDR available to him. And then plus the Chronos Pendant passive. So basically 50% CDR right now.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
PandaCat forced into the ultimate. Does get a shot off, but the ultimate used defensively there from the Hunter for eUnited.
Cost Homiefe blink. I like the idea, but just a quicker reaction time from PandaCat gets him away.
A little bit of healing coming out from the Soul Gem, I suppose.
Not a lot. It's really there for the damage.
210 healing is not any healing at all. It's completely irrelevant.
How about 212, though?
Isn't that... You don't listen when I speak. I literally said 212 healing.
Oh, I thought you said 210, I'm going to be honest with you. Did you not?
No, I'm going to be honest with you, actually. He's in the mid lane for Hurriwind.
I'm pretty sure you said 210. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Hurriwind going to take some poke, and Venenu immediately goes to the sky as the United tries to fight back into this one. fineokay. Going to walk right through the portal. A lot of this is what we saw in game number 1. In and out, in and out. That's why a lot of the damage was low, but the kill count was high. Everything that you saw was relevant.
And that's in a little bit less of that this game, but still more of the same in comparison to other, sorts of games in the SPL, where we'll see a lot of damage, not a lot of kills. This time around, just like game 1, we're seeing a lot of damage with not a lot of kills.
So right now, fineokay is going to chase Scream out of there. One of the things that we did see on the message number screen was the tower damage coming out from Scream. Just gets shotgunned there by Hurriwind, but the tower damage from Scream has been big. That's what allowed that tier 1 tower to go fall down over there on the right side lane, and so he gets punished for it just a little bit. Tier 2 tower also goes down. I don't know if you guys noticed that one at home. Kind of quiet with that rubble falling there on the right side. Not a single CLGaming tower by the Fire Giant.
Now that means that CLG is still comfortable enough to pull this FG despite the lack of towers. fineokay and Jigz are the only ones on it, though. They're the tag. Snoopy now coming in to try and follow up onto Benji, but Homie's been isolated on the backside.
Why is he there?
And he falls. That must have been communication from CLG that they were on the objective. Venenu, no beads. He takes a ton of damage as
Nice
Snoopy
play.
notches number 4 and 10 in total now for CLG.
Really important kill from Snoopy right there. Really, really, really important kill to take care of Venenu. With Homiefe down for an extended period of time, and even though Scream was off the board, he's coming back up soon. This was a moment for eUnited to sort of fight into it. Not technically the power play because it became the 4-on-4, but Scream was going to join the party quick enough with all that movement speed that CLGaming had to be afraid of that. Snoopy cutting down the mid lane kind of stops all aggression near that Fire Giant pit.
And again, going back to where Homie was and why he was there, I imagine that it was either going for, see, look, 72%. They know. You said 210.
Oh, well. 212's in my heart. Shouts to New York City.
So can we redo the chat, the poll, and say that I was correct and you were objectively wrong?
Nope.
I think we should.
Not
Just
allowed.
My own personal opinion. So Homie either thought he had got put in combat right before he blinked away, or CLG saying, "Yo, we're on fire, zone," and Homie just takes it into his head that, okay, we're on fire. I'm just gonna make sure that no one gets in.
You know what happened there?
What happened?
CLG was like, "Yo, we are killing it. We're on fire." And Homie was like, "Oh, you're on fire, Giant. I'm going to zone." And then he dies. And they go, "No, we're just crushing it. We're like on fire, like NBA Jam."
Can we just redo the poll already? Because there is zero chance that's right. I've got to be on a roll by now. Like, come on now.
I'm telling you, that's.
I lost to this?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Chad, I thought we had something.
Nope. No real consequence right there. PolarBearMike going to take a little bit of ability damage. Walk away, no problem. Approaching the half-hour mark. CLG looking for the fire giant. Venenu's going to ult to make sure. I wish he didn't. I want to use that ult a little bit later for the team fight. eUnited, however, do have the information, and that's scary enough to push CLGaming off the objective, so I will eat my words. Venenu did the right thing. Forced the opponent off the objective. Absolutely, that's the win.
Ooh, blink in from Jigz, forces the beads out from PandaCat. Nice silence from PBM, keeps fineokay off his carries back, but Scream is pretty isolated on the top side. Benji also trying to cut off the escape route provided by Hurriwind's ultimate.
Meanwhile, Benji just, again, this is, if you're new to the Pro League, come to expect this. Benji on a different continent than the rest of his team, and that's okay. His character and his build are going to be tanky, and he's there to zone and keep the opposition off of whatever eUnited has planned, which is the Pyromancer. Sprint is popped. Sprint is popped. eUnited not on the same page. fineokay zoning on the back end. Where's the rest?
Benji kept everybody busy. Now PBM actually picked up and kept away. fineokay realized that Snoopy didn't want to continue that fight, but Benji sure does. Fine, brought back in, and Scream cuts him down. PandaCat has to use the Aegis, but it might have been too early. Homie silenced out and can't find the auto attack or the extra abilities.
He's alive!
Okay.
He's alive, and Hurriwind is not. Scream gets the double kill, and PandaCat lives with 1 HP. Wonderful escape there. Homiefe also going to sneak on out. Pinged, but unlikely to be caught up with.
Man, that's what I'm talking about, chat. 38% of you, I'll forgive, but the other 62%, you guys killed it. Way to go. I'm so proud of you guys. Keep up the great work. You've been killing it all day. You made one mistake. It happens to everybody. I'm glad that we're back together.
See, this is what we call artificial difficulty. You didn't get the test question wrong because you didn't know the information. You got the test question wrong because you got SAT'd. Hold that thought. Two different objectives, and eUnited have the bigger one. Gold Fury going the way of CLG if they can complete it. Fire Giant going the way of eUnited, and they can complete it. And again, Benji, different continent from the rest of eUnited. eUnited do the magician trick, and Benji is the wonderful assistant. Check out my sleight of hand as you look this way, and my team will take care of things this way.
Well, CLG had 2 members dead, and they knew that they had no real chance to contest that Fire Giant, so they try and pick up the Gold Fury, as at least we got something, but Benji there to say no. It's actually crazy how often
Benji look at this wave.
Is like by himself, and then everyone just runs away from him, even though he's only by himself. And in that situation, it's the right thing to do because you're low, but still, it's like Benji's probably getting lonely at some point, you know?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't think so at all. He's sitting up there with his SoundCloud rapper soundtrack just plugged in, music loud, doesn't really care. He's probably rocking JPEG Mafia right now. Gold Fury, the pull right here on the left-hand side, already leading by 500 gold. That's going to push him even further. 8-10. eUnited trailing in kills, but leading in everything that matters. 31-30. And eUnited are rushing to a victory.
And this seems to be the way that Season 5 has gone for so far in the Pro League specifically, is that there's a lot of posturing in the early to mid game between these top-tier teams, and then one big team fight determines the course of the next few minutes, basically. And that's obvious to say, but what I mean by that is one team fight doesn't get you a 2,000 gold lead. One team fight is getting teams 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 gold leads.
But with that said, you can fight into those 5 to 6s.
That's exactly what I was about to say, is that normally in Season 4, Season 3, a 6,000 gold lead team fight is going to end the game effectively. But that has not been the case in Season 5. It's just teams that are able to play defense effectively, have good defensive comps, are still in a spot to win the game without some sort of miracle play. It still feels like if you're playing defense well, you're still A-okay.
Yeah.
And CLG is going to try and do that now.
That's one of the nice things that I like about this is the stall out factor, right? You can negate the gold lead altogether if you wait till this half-hour mark, but you got to get there. And that's why we see teams, last game earlier today, I brought up the aggressive build coming out from PolarBearMike, looking to close the game out before you reach that sort of equality level, right? Everybody just Wrath of God, everything's even again. That's what eUnited wanted to avoid earlier. Right now, they're on the cusp of that. CLG almost are there. 6 items on the mid lane, Hurriwind. So we'll see. Who was ahead the entire game for what it's worth. So eUnited trying to convert right here for the left side Phoenix.
And Hurry still top damage in the game, still outpacing Venenu on that Nuwa. Not easy to do to be out damaging a Nuwa at 33 minutes.
Here comes the jump in. Benji leading the charge, taking the tower. Venenu goes up, trying to cut everybody down. About 200 damage per player. There's Hurriwind just zooming around, trying to get out of trouble, and he will. He'll back to base, which is right next door, but he's got to avoid some of the nonsense that Screammm's trying to bring. And fineokay cuts it down. Screammm dies there, but the objective was taken. Left side Phoenix, toast.
Screammm sacrifices himself for left side Phoenix. It is the best Phoenix to get farthest away from the Fire Giant. Benji, the lone member, now tossed back into Snoopy, but here comes the rest of eUnited. They're still sticking around.
Yeah, this was a catch-up play from CLGaming.
Goodness.
They thought they were to catch Benji sleeping, but eUnited turned right around. Benji called that from the moment that Cerberus stuck out the stun. He sidestepped the stun and said, look, they're chasing. And eUnited turned right around at that exact moment. Really nice communication coming out from eUnited. Specifically the fact that they don't go too deep and look to continue that team fight.
And he almost kills Snoopy and takes no damage in return.
Hercules. I'm telling you, this character this character has always been one of my he's incredibly difficult to kill, and the displacement he brings is so powerful. Benji's getting the entire team dumped into himself, and he heals it up like that with a single mitigate them wounds, baby. Woo!
And that's with the Divine Ruin coming from Hurriwind on him as well.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
Heal, so
oh,
pretty good. Pretty good healing coming out of Hercules these days.
I didn't even realize he was also
pretty good.
divined. PolarBearMike drops the box in as a defensive mechanism. Still in trouble, and he might fall. Homiefe confirms it, but Venenu turns it around and puts down the solo lane. Tank for tank. 4-on-4.
Jigz still healthy, though, and that's kind of been the initiator so far for CLG, so they don't lose their initiator at least. PBM has kind of also been the counter initiator, and there just got piled up, got his dash caught out by Jigz from a nice taunt. Even the Spirit Robe couldn't save PBM, who has picked up that last item Pythags piece. We saw him do it last game as well in the 5th item slot this time around as the last item. And honestly, I really like it, Tom. It's that extra little bit of damage for your carries, the extra little bit of survivability for them as well with the lifesteal. It'll now give you either physical or magical lifesteal, depending on what you could actually use. But it also has that health on it to give you, so it's not you're just wasting an item slot as a tank, so that you can actually get at least some sort of survivability out of it for yourself.
And it's traditionally thought of as a mage item. This is sort of an odd utility item for mages that we rarely see. And here we see it picked up by the support player. And I really like it because it's all utility, right? Aura hyphen is what I want to see the supports buy. Not always allowed to because of you got to be extra tanky, etc. That's why the health
aura
covered. Yeah, and there's another one. Another aura item that is, again, kind of offensive there. Voidstone, the hybrid itemization from PolarBearMike, really cute.
And he's got plenty of protections as well, and the one thing that his build probably wanted a little bit more of was the health. And so Pythags piece provides that for you when you don't really need a whole lot more protection. I mean, he's probably sitting nice and pretty. Is right. There's
CLG.
The blink in doubles from CLG, but Homiefe immediately gets blown up because of the ultimate from Screammm. Venenu picked up into that last breath. It's ticking. He'll fall to fineokay. PBM was all the way on the left lane, Tom, and it still isn't even close.
Yeah, Benji's cut down pretty low, health or nah. Here comes PolarBearMike off the top. CLGaming kind of has the wind in their sails, but the box will cut him in half. Snoopy on the left-hand side being zoned out by the support. Damage coming out from the rest of eUnited down south. Beautiful kick by the Hercules to put Jigz in harm's way. PandaCat keeping his distance, but still able to tunnel the damage into these tanks. that word important, because ain't nobody dying.
Benji gets stunned out. Screammmmm goes forward, but ends up taking a ton of damage even through the Nem shield. PBM doing his best to keep everybody at bay. Now left side Phoenix just respawn, Tom, and those fire minions might take it.
Oh, Snoopy was going to be in trouble, but everybody crowd controlled Benji. He got him with the Earthbreaker, couldn't hit him with the Driving Strike because he fell in a manhole. The portal coming out from Hurriwind just set him up. Down goes Benji. CLGaming, the beautiful, beautiful fight there on the right side.
PandaCat uses the purification beads even though he had the bubble, didn't really know it. PBM in a ton of trouble. He gets picked up and tossed right back. He should fall to Snoopy, but Venenu respawns and is able to bring down Jigz.
Just CLG did exactly what I think they needed to do.
Oh, Hurry gets a little bit too cute. Tried to juke out Screammmmm, but he actually stays in range for PandaCat to drop the banner. Meanwhile, Homie tried to stop that fire wave on left from keeping the Phoenix and keeping it up, but it still ended up falling.
Yeah, okay. I'll reassess it and kind of fix that one. Screammmmm looking for some damage here. fineokay. Not the case for Snoopy. PandaCat nails him with the long-range basic. Here comes the Nemesis after the right side Phoenix died. This was a situation where CLGaming needed to aggress. They couldn't be jumped on when they defended their Phoenixes. Usually we see that the teams dance on the Phoenixes and then the defensive team jumps forward. CLG went one step further and fought the enemy in lane. I loved that with the Janus, but they had to defend that left Phoenix. Since that went down in addition to the right, the mid one goes down too. Hurriwind, Jigz, and Snoopy are out. Jigz is going to res in 5 seconds. Might have the taunt, the tower, the Titan. He's down. Oh, that's it. That's game.
Just like that.
That's game.
eUnited finds the 2-0, and at the risk of sounding weird, that whole
You're
fight
weird.
where PandaCat is just like, everyone around him is following, and then PandaCat is just there like slinging arrows. I imagine him like shirtless, like Rambo, just like screaming as he's auto-attacking everybody, like, bring it on! And he's just like killing everyone. That was PandaCat in that last engagement, man. He was just staying safe, far enough back, and did all the damage. Everyone on his team died except for him, and he's the one standing at the Titan killing it. Unreal.
There is one thing that PandaCat has always had, and it's the chutzpah. He's always had that sort of, look, I'm the guy, and I'm going to make these plays, and I don't really care if it's 1v5. I'm here for days, and that's ultimately what wins the game for eUnited. Is he the MVP? Time for you to let us know from Mixer Chat. That's the type of gameplay that, I mean, and that's the type of stuff, like, that's how you bring hunters back into the spotlight. I like to see PandaCat sticking to these hunters. No mages for him. He's going to make it work with the Hachiman, and he's going to make it happen. eUnited take this one 2-zip. Let's break it down on the desk.
Thank you so much, Tom and Aggro. That was interesting. eUnited 2-0ing CLG.
With how slow of a start that they got at the beginning of the split, this was completely unexpected. eUnited giving CLG their first set loss.
And PandaCat really stepping up in both games.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just put it that way. Those guys talk about the first game. You know, obviously first game he got MVP. Second game made an impact as well. How do you feel about CLG's performance in that set?
I think CLG definitely bounced back. Snoopy in particular played a fantastic Ullr. I think their draft kind of was a little sluggish in the late game. They didn't have the physical damage that the hyper late game carry that they really needed, as opposed to Screammm's Nemesis. Serqet on Homiefe is usually really solid, but this game was a little lackluster. Barely over 10,000 player damage in the entirety of this like 39-minute game.
Troublesome little set for CLG. I'm sure they'll bounce back, but the problem for them is that basically our week 3 replicates in week 4, which means eUnited have a chance to get another 2 wins under the belt. If they go against CLG again next week, that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
They might have their number already figured out. eUnited looking so solid here. And in game number 1, they did so good with PandaCat being the MVP that he even got it again in game number 2.
Well, the one thing I'm not slipping on is PandaCat right about now. He's MVP for the second game in a row on his Hachiman. Maybe it's time to start taking this away from him.
I think Hachiman might actually be the best competitively hunter in the game. He's just able to outpoke you from a distance, aggress on you with the mounted archery, or disengage into the sunset. And the Ukrainian hunter, man, showing his stuff
You
here.
love saying he's Ukrainian, don't you?
Maybe.
Is it because you're there too? Is that right? Yeah.
Maybe I live
You like
vicariously
brothers?
through him.
Oh, okay. Like all the things you wanted to do in the Pro League, he's doing for you.
I mean, maybe.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I'm not upset by that. I'm not like, trying to put you down for that. I can respect that. I look at Rafa and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not him.
I mean, I didn't want to say it earlier on because I don't want to be that guy, but I mean, you know, being Ukrainian myself, and
It's in the blood,
actually,
right?
I soloed Snoopy and ranked earlier today as well, as Hachiman, and then now PandaCat solo Snoopy as well. So, you know, Ukrainian Hunters kind of got that little edge. Maybe that's his downfall. Ukrainian Hunters.
It's Snoopy's kryptonite, it appears to be, at least according to Tolly here. So that is everything we've got in terms of the Pro League games this week. Very interesting to say the least to see that eUnited have pulled themselves up from the bottom to about mid-table now. But not only that, we've also seen CLG and Dignitas in the same week have taken their first losses.
That's right.
Which means no one is the cleanest of cleans this year.
No one is undefeated. Going halfway into Season 5 Spring Split. A lot of interesting things so far. A lot of spicy picks and bans. Everything's just getting mixed up in one crock pot.
And the crock pot has definitely been cooking for a while now with these teams, and as the weeks go on, things should get a lot better. Any real surprises though, Tolly, in terms of like picks or bans or anything like that? Has anyone like come out of the woodwork that you were surprised at this week?
I mean, I'm surprised that there's not been more Hades specifically. Like, we've seen some Guardians every now and then, but I think like Hades has definitely a lot of potential.
But he's not a Guardian anymore.
I mean, he's played like a Guardian, to be fair. The only person that's ever like realistically played him mid-mage consistently was MLC Stealth, I believe, would
mid.
play him. Yeah, in mid. And, you know, building Bursty there. But in terms of in the solo lane, nobody's really brought that out.
There's only Devious, but Devious has been bringing Tyr back.
That was a bad game.
You can't bring everything back.
He played Hades that one game. We're not going to talk about that.
It doesn't count.
We don't talk about that.
That one doesn't count. Is there anybody else that you'd like to see?
There's a lot I would like to see. I want to see more Goobus, actually.
More Goobus.
More
Well,
Goobus.
maybe the new skin comes out. We might actually see some of that because that's going to be terrifying in your games. Yes, that was me selling. I wasn't intentionally selling, but I just did. But it's a good skin. Anyway, we should be having an interview momentarily with one of the members of eUnited, if he can find his microphone or find where his mystical mail is. But it doesn't seem like it's the case.
He dropped the soap. No, he dropped the mystical mail back in that previous set there. Couldn't find it.
Mike was supposed to get interviewed. Mike is not here. So we won't be having an interview today. Tolly, any final thoughts before then we close the show?
It was just a great, fantastic performance, I think, out of all North American Europe for the first half. I'm really excited for the second half. I think that we're still not done with seeing different things.
We really aren't. It's still too early in the spring split. We're halfway done. Still another halfway to go. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in on Mix Up with us, as per usual. Tomorrow, we continue things once again with the Smite Minor League begins. North America and Europe will take part over the weekend to show what the best of the future pros have to offer. And then, starting Tuesday next week, we'll go again with the Pro League. For everyone here at hi-rez Studios, thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you all again tomorrow.